the importance of exports in growing the economy. Now you're back as minister and the government is in for another term. What do you or how do you want to spur that growth? I mean, you've insisted on it, and you've also insisted. One of the things you always said was that where our populations are small, you can't really grow with a population of just 3 million. You've got to look outward. You've said it consistently. But what do you want to do now to ensure that you can really put your foot on the accelerator in that regard?
Al is not my friend, and but I didn't pay him for that question. But I love the question. Well, Al has said it clearly. We are not going to get rich selling to 3 million people who have a per capita GDP of 7,000 or just below. Um, when you look at Cayman, for instance, Cayman has a very high per capita GDP. Bermuda has maybe the third or so highest per capita GDP in the world if it was assessed as an independent country, which it's not. It's 125,000 US dollars thereabout. Them no have no yam, them no have no mango, them no have no tomatoes. By much they might grow some in them flower pots. Um, you know what they do, Al? They do what we have not done for a long time, which we are about to do. We're going to elevate our services. We have learned a great deal from the BPO service. Okay, but when you go to the British Virgin Islands, the lawyers and the accountants are very often Jamaicans. You go to Cayman and Turks and Caicos. Bahamas, many of them sometimes are Jamaicans. We didn't provide them with the legal ecosystem to make sure our financial services business grow. Well, Mr. Clark, just Minister Williams just changed the trust law, which I carried through the Senate. We have just changed the segregated accounts law. We're in the process now, waiting. The BOJ is coming back to us on uh, the the partnership accounts, the two kinds, general and what's the other one? General
Limited
unlimited
liability.
liability partnerships. All that is being put in place so that we can now become a really good high level services sector. Why? Because lawyers and banks and rich people pay for that service. They want your trust. Jamaica is now very trustworthy. FATF is in place. You can transfer money anywhere. This is a place of growth for us. The other place that the Prime Minister has talked about so often is a logistics hub. I'm going on a trade mission in Asia soon, and part of that is to make sure we're looking investors to come and invest. But also, the the tariff and visa arrangements that are being changed so dramatically in the world. In every time there's an issue, you have to look for the opportunities. There are opportunities there for us. We are very close to the biggest market in the world. We are inviting people to set up Jamaican companies in Jamaica and make things and export from here. So those are the areas. And of course, the Prime Minister is right. The biggest export market is right here in Jamaica. It's called the hospitality business, the hotel business, which is why he's pushing Floyd and Ed and myself to make sure we make it work for us so that the hotels who are here it will be better if we have consistent supply at a reasonable price to buy from us. But we have to make sure we produce. So we have a range of services that we're looking at. Tourism right now is the one strong product. It's always risky when all your are in one basket. And so we have to look at those other areas to grow. Agriculture is probably the first because training and getting the people in place and inviting people and they get the confidence to come here will take some time. But in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we must be a major service area for the wealthy and for the people who need that kind of service.
Blessed
The
is the man
final
that
question
walketh
from
not in the
online
counsel of the
for
ungodly, nor
Luke
standeth in the
Douglas from
ways of
Lucena.
sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to Portland Spice TV. We're not normally on a Thursday, but this is a Thursday that we are touring the Caribbean. Yeah, and want to say thanks to the people over there in Grenada. We really had a good time in Grenada. We had a good time in Barbados. In fact, we are at the same spot. Well, not the same spot, but we are on the same island that we were yesterday. So unfortunately, we're not able to tell you where we are. We slipped out this morning, came back because we have to stay on this island. So somebody said they're not hearing me. I'm very low. Why would I be low? Don't understand. Why would we be low? We did our checks, and the checks that we have done are good. There's no caller. There's no caller just yet. You are loud. That is my understanding. That's my understanding. Very loud. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so anybody not hearing us clearly, turn up your instrument, or you may need to restart your instrument. But we our check says that we are good, and we want to apologize. Yesterday we had some technical difficulty with that interview with Al Edwards, but some of what we got out of it was a very good interview, and we want to thank Al for coming on yesterday, spending some time with us. We're not going to be on for 2 hours today. No, nah. We're just going to be on for about 90 minutes because there are some things that we need to touch on. We're going to be talking to Conrad O'Brien. A lot of things happening. And there's a Portland saga going around. And, you know, I think this is such rubbish. I think this is such rubbish what I saw in the media, in the social media space. And I want to find it and read it for you before we call Conrad O'Brien. All right, one person sent me this. It says, East Portland saga continues. The Jamaica Labour Party is forcing the councillor for the Fairfield division to resign, to call a by-election, and to place Anne-Marie Vaz in that division so she can become the mayor of Portland. No, you don't have any mayor of Portland. You have a mayor of Port Antonio. Right? The mayor of Port Antonio is also the chairman of the municipal corporation. But there's a longer one that I saw. Somebody sent me this one. This one says, the GLP is allegedly forcing the councillor for the Fairfield division to resign immediately so that they can call another by-election and start the process of making the rejected former member of parliament to be the mayor of Portland. Again, there's no mayor of Portland. Millions were collected from the ruling class in return for Blue Lagoon, Nanny Falls, and the beaches in East Portland by the book, hook, or crook. The bottle stopper dynasty must return in order. Now, those are some of the things that I have been getting. And, no, sir, I don't think the former member of parliament have any interest in becoming no mayor. Now, somebody's saying, if true, why does Anne-Marie Vaz have to be in politics? I don't think so. Remember, this is a lady who never even did like politics. You know, at one time, she said politics mash up her family. But then I'd asked my mentor, my former mentor, the late Jigs Ennis one time, is that I'd ask him, why is it that politicians, when they go into politics, them no want to resign? Him say, boy, Shaka, if you get little of the power, you will understand. So, but I don't think that the former member of parliament would want to be no mayor or want to be no councillor. Yeah? I don't buy it. I hear it being spread and going around, but I'm telling you that I don't believe 1 minute of it. I don't think so. Portland is a beautiful place and Portland is poised for takeoff. Long time. What Portland needs is leadership with vision. Go get a leadership, people will go out there and represent and seek investors to come to Portland. That is what Portland needs. One of the things we were talking about yesterday was the killing of that young man down there in Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon. And one of my audience caller and listener, follower, called me a while ago and was suggesting that we do a deep dive into police killings in Jamaica. I just got the call, so my producer is going through a little here, a little there. I don't think we are going to be able to do that kind of reporting this evening. But as soon as we get back on the rock and have everything at our disposal that we need to do this kind of research, and I also ask other people to assist in doing this kind of research, we are going to be digging deep into the whole thing of what it is that is happening with the police killing. We know that they have gone about 220 so far for 2025, and we know that was down. Police doing number 3 went down in Jamaica, and we don't want to see it come up back. This morning, Google showed me something on Facebook 4 years ago when I was saying that the government need to go out there and search for gunmen and find the guns and bring them in. USB comrade said, that's what you think. What you talking about? That I don't believe that Anne-Marie Vaz want to be no counselor or no mayor. Well, let me link up my brethren, because I'm going to talk to him this evening about some of the things that has been taking place. We want to talk to him about this whole thing about the Jamaica Labour Party in turmoil as it relates to people jockeying to become prime minister. So that is something that we want to find out. What are his views on those? Madam Producer, this phone, okay, it's okay, it's ringing now. It's saying ringing now. So yeah, whole heap of things on the table. We want to take your calls as well. We want to hear from you. And we have Obi on the line. Obi.
Hey, hi Shaka, how you doing, man?
I'm good enough, my brother. What go on with you, all right?
Yeah, man, may I give thanks,
Yes,
I
man.
chill and after a hard week, 4 days of hard, heavy lifting,
Yes.
From 9 until 12, and of course, that boy, you have to move early to get in Shaka with the traffic and so on. So a little bit beat, but I am good.
That is something that we need to talk about, the gridlock in the city of Kingston. And I want to talk to you about that because that also affects you directly. But Obi, one of the first things I want to look at this morning is the jockeying for position in the Jamaica Labour Party.
Afternoon.
Huh?
This afternoon. This afternoon,
right. It's afternoon, sorry. Yeah. The jockeying for position in the Jamaica Labour Party.
If you're in Britain or somewhere.
Huh?
I was wondering if you're in Britain or somewhere.
No, I'm still in the Caribbean. Yes, so this issue, Obi, there are 2 court cases involving the most honorable Andrew Michael Holness in Jamaica. But the one that may be coming quickly and would have an effect on the Prime Minister leaving office is that election petition by Paul Buchanan. And we see where if the court, and let's say that is a big if if the court should rule in favor of Paul Buchanan and decide that the prime minister, that election would be null and void, or they're going to run back another division, it means that the prime minister would have to step aside for a while, do the by-election, and then come back into power. But what have you been hearing, Obi, that is happening in the Jamaica Labour Party as it relates to that?
All right, Colin, very interesting point you set up there. The fact of the matter is that we're at a very interesting place, and indeed, the constituency of West Central St. Andrew, that basically in the spotlight. It is not new for this kind of thing. As a matter of fact, I think it would have gone back from even back in the Freddie Yap and them guys days. There were issues in that constituency, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But more recently, this was in 1997,
Yes.
when Dr. Blake,
Yes.
Dr. Warren Blake, was sworn in as Member of Parliament, similarly to Andrew Holness is now sworn in. As a matter of fact, it's like deja vu, because the person who challenged Dr. Blake legitimacy in the Parliament was Andrew Holness.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened, there was a runoff that was allowed in part of the constituency. As a matter of fact, I think it actually happened twice or three times, because it wasn't satisfied when it ran the first time and so on. And then it went back over, and then afterwards, Mr. Holness, Andrew Holness, was awarded the seat based on what came out of that election.
By your memory, was that the first time that Andrew ran in that seat?
No, was it?
Was it the
no,
first time and the court gave him the seat?
Well, was it the first or the second time? That's how many years ago. Is that how many years ago? Since 97 to now is how many years?
Abraham Thomas is saying yes, it was the first time that he ran in the seat.
Yeah,
it was the court that gave him that seat.
That's about 28 years now, right?
Yes.
Yes, so it was the very first time. So it was the court that gave him the seat, really. So as a result of that, there's a template there. All right. And what Paul Buchanan is arguing is that what happens now mirrors that similar situation, but on a sort of little basis, where he argued that there were too many votes. No, Paul is arguing too little. So it mirrors the situation there. And of course, one of the things in law, Colin, that you would know is the whole business of precedence. So you have situations in 1901. And that case law is used basically from judgment today in 2025.
Yes.
So precedence is extremely important in the whole scheme of things. So it is interesting what will come out of the constituted authority. And as you correctly pointed out, Colin, that what would happen, that would trigger, if the authority should rule that part or the whole of the constituency should rerun, because it can just be a pocket there. And once that pocket is ordered to rerun, then certainly Mr. Holness will see him as a stranger in the house. And once that is argued, all he could do is just walk or drive past Garden House, or being invited to the gallery like you and I. He could not go in and sit.
Well,
and
he could still sit. He could sit in the well, but not on either side. Because once you are a member of parliament, ex-members of parliament can sit in the well.
Indeed. So what we're actually, I'm happy that you put it in perspective, but we're actually talking about sitting as a member, right? So, and therefore, he would have no legitimacy to do anything there, because he would now be an ex-member of parliament. And that is very, very interesting, Colin, because what that would now triggers is a situation where we'd have to get a new person as prime minister. And so we get straight to the question that you're asking. My information is contrary to argument that is conjured up elsewhere, that some kind of brouhaha and some kind of leadership going on within the opposition, which is absolutely not true. What happened, the real contention
Yes.
for leadership within the Jamaica Labour Party, I gather there's about 3 camps that are there who are jacking, are there who are jacking.
3 camps.
3 camps
Third
that are
term
jacking right
loading.
now. Indeed, that are that are jacking for the position of leader for to become prime minister. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this: that my information that no less a person than Mrs. Holness is one of those persons. Tufton is one. And a girl that flight green is also there lurking in the wings.
Want to be prime minister even for a month.
Absolutely. And but here what happened now, Colin, the interesting aspect of it. Remember now that whoever gained the majority of MPs and basically sworn in as prime minister there, that person is not duty bound to basically relinquish the position. So it leaves Holness now in no man's land.
No, but Obi, what the Constitution says is that if that person becomes prime minister and Holness returns to the House of Representatives, once Holness can garner the majority of the support in the House, all he needs to do is now write to the Governor General. I wonder if it's that simple though, because it is he who have the majority in the House that becomes prime minister.
Indeed. So here's the thing now, and hence the kind of jacking and all horse trading taking place and so on.
Because as you correctly said, the person who becomes prime minister don't really have to decide to get up. What if that person decide them not get up?
Absolutely. There's also another very interesting scenario here, Colin.
Yes.
Let's say that person on the JLP side basically carries a majority of support in there of, say, 2026, along with himself or herself, make 27. And the PNP on the other side with 28, 27 plus Mark Golden make 28.
Yes.
It simply means now, by way of what you just talked about with our constitution, that Mark Golden will command the majority of persons who support him in the House of Parliament, and we could basically see a very, very dynamic setup there. I'm not saying that this will happen.
That one is kind of far-fetched, because I believe then that the Labour rights would coalesce around somebody and get back the prime minister. They're not going to give up the prime ministership to the PNP. But go ahead.
Hence, Colin, what we're talking about is how the Constitution is basically formed. Remember, that the Constitution does not recognize political parties.
No, it
right?
is who have the majority in the Parliament.
Absolutely. So therefore, all of these things are things that come full circle. And I had a caller on my program yesterday, an attorney at law outside of Mandeville, Central Jamaica. And we basically went through these stuff. And as a matter of fact, it was quite interesting because he was the one who actually opened my eyes to, for example, what I just mentioned there. You know, while I know that that's the situation, but he basically brought it into the public, into the domain, full circle.
But Obi,
so all sorts of things can happen. However, Sorry, Colin. However, we know, as you just said, that it is far-fetched, very far-fetched. But we are saying, since we try to inform and educate and so on, Colin, in this space, we are telling people what are the possibilities, what can happen based on what the Constitution speaks to.
Let me just take time out to big up Patricia over there in Florida. But one of the things that I have been looking at, Obi, let's say Tufton become prime minister for the month. And people, this is just an hypothetical. When Andrew, they have a by-election, Andrew win, because also remember that they can have a by-election and Andrew lose to, tell her. They can have a by-election and him lose. However,
stick up in there, Colin.
Go ahead. I'll stick in the pin. Go ahead.
Stick up in there. And that is that. You're a thinking man, and that is where now there is another discussion that is ensuing. We understand that because of the dynamics in the seat there, that if the part of the constituency rerun or the whole constituency rerun, there is a very strong possibility now, based on what we're seeing, that Paul Buchanan could take that constituency right out again. Therefore, we could see the possibility of two by-election, because we understand, the information coming to me is that there is a discussion that is taking place, that in the event of things really come the way that we're talking about from the constituted authority,
yes,
Andrew Holness, we may very well see him going into central St. Catherine. But another person said to me that
I heard West Kingston.
Absolutely, you heard West Kingston, and frankly speaking, there is, Colin, of course, we know a lot of prime ministers come out of West Kingston. Yes. Granted, some of them get themselves in trouble as a result of being in that constituency, but it is the bedrock of the Jamaica Labour Party. So but these are some scenarios there.
But before you ask me to stick the pin, where I was going, let's say a man become prime minister for the month. Andrew wins the seat and come back and he decides that, listen, me have 10 with me from the Jamaica Labour Party. And me I go seek the PNP to support me. Then dog none your man just upper. Because if that 10 plus the PNP 28, that would be 38, and that person would have the majority. And as Obi mentioned earlier, the Constitution never say the party will win the most. It says the person who have majority support in the parliament. There are 63 parliamentarians. GLP and PNP is not recognized in the parliament under the Jamaican Constitution. So if the 28 from PNP, let me just finish. If the 28 from the PNP decide to support a Jamaica Labour Party person who have won 10 from the GLP, Andrew can't turn back Prime Minister.
There you go. So it's a lot. There are a lot of moving parts, Colin, in this very, very dynamic situation. I know that Bert, for example, is a regular listener to your program, Colin, and you have him.
Yes.
I wouldn't say on speed dial, but you have the ability to get him. I would humbly suggest that if you can get him even at short notice now, to really and truly, we are discussing these things and we understand the whole setup of it. But certainly, it would be good if you could get a more steady legal opinion as to how these things really go. From the, as we said, we understand the Constitution, but it's always important you get it from
a learned person. I want to leave that until Saturday morning. Saturday morning also we should be having Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal, Philip Paulwell, on the program. We should have him on Saturday morning as well. Right, so we might be able to get some more detail from that position. Somebody's saying that 4 prime minister came from West Kingston. But Obi, here's a question. Good evening, Colin. Yes. How soon a snap election? There is a time period. There's
My understanding. Sorry, go ahead,
no,
Colin.
you go ahead, Obi.
You're putting that to me?
Yes, go ahead.
My understanding is that under normal circumstances, it should be anywhere after 2 years.
So you must complete at least 2
Uh,
years. I know there's a time
After
period
two,
before you can.
after 2 years,
Yeah.
that is my understanding. But I think that, and there's where the person who is very, very versed in the Constitution could add some more. But I think that there could be extenuating circumstances that basically allow the Prime Minister to go to the poll before 2 years. But under normal circumstances, I think the period is a 2 year period.
Obi, I want to move away from that now and go to the gridlock situation in City Kingston. When you go to Kingston Mondays to Fridays and you get into Kingston between 7 and 9 o'clock, you're not going anywhere fast. Talk to us about that, how that affect you and affect other people trying to get to work in the capital city.
All right, Colin, what happened? During the People's National Party tenure, when Portia Simpson was in office, Senator Lambert Brown, who used to host the program that not the program that I host, but certainly was there on the same station. He was the evening agenda,
Yes.
and I host Straight Up. So Lambert Brown used to basically said every evening on the program that Jamaica is basically developed into a six-lane highway situation, because that was the plan from the People's National Party. So, for example, from the entire Hope Road coming all the way down into Arthur Tree, going down into Portia Simpson Miller Square there, right? The entire belt there, and also along other corridors. There were plans there to basically transform the whole of Kingston and St. Andrew, so you would have more easy flow of traffic, because what the PNP understood is by open up the motor vehicle industry and basically giving the opportunity to the ordinary folks, more and more motor vehicle would come on the road. So there were a number of things basically put in place. For example, even fly over or a way how you jetted from Portmore across the ocean there, to get into Kingston. So all of those things were in place to basically ensure that we have some amount of easement in the traffic. So things like the Portmore Causeway there, that was a part of it, that to dovetail into a number of development into the city so we could have easier passage. Also, the JU would really park their vehicle and essentially travel with the JUTC, and we know what happened to all of those plans. Those plans are basically gone to naught because the development has not taken place appreciably to fulfill those things. But the fact is that what we have now, Colin, it's a nightmare. It impacts us. For example, let's say you're journeying from anywhere outside of Kingston. So you will take the PJ Patterson Highway. You finish that highway, say even quarter to seven. You finish the highway. You're now on Mandela, right? The traffic start backing up from PJ Patterson Highway there, the end of it, and you're going to the University of the West Indies like I am in the morning for a 9 o'clock show. Colin, you have to be very, very smart and lucky not to be actually rushing like crazy when you end up in the parking lot at UWI to get on air at 9 o'clock. That is how difficult it is. So you're actually taking, say, 2 hours, and sometimes you could be taking 2 hours plus to move from the ending of the PJ Patterson Highway to get to the University of the West Indies Mona campus.
Obi,
that is the scenario.
I brought that up because what we are seeing, in my view, is poor planning and a lack of vision In 2016, the JUTC was rolling out about 450 buses per day. The fact that the JUTC was allowed to deteriorate and went down to about 140 per day ensured that the citizenry who works in Kingston, everybody had to go out and get a car. Now, what is happening is gridlock in the city. And we still see the JUTC rolling out just about maybe about 300 buses per day now.
No, they're not rolling out so much. They're still about 250.
So they are still not back to where we were in 2016. Now, I am putting the blame of the gridlock in Kingston during peak hours, morning and evening, directly at the foot of the government of Jamaica. And we also see them spreading out the JUTC now. You have bus running from what? Kingston to Mandeville, Kingston to Montego Bay.
And the guy they're going to Mobile.
And you still don't have enough bus to take care of the corporate area. What is going to happen to Kingston in another 12 months?
Well, Colin, it's just going to get worse, actually, because, and one would remember, and I know that Garnet Roper, he's not so well now. We hope a miracle could happen, and basically he become transferred and get a healing there, right? But I want to heal Garnet, the Reverend Dr. Garnet Roper and Colin Campbell, right? Who worked assiduously to basically bring the JUTC to where they left it in 2016.
But
remember, they put this thing that.
Obi. Hold on a little.
Yes, Colin.
Because we're blaming the government and we forget that this government is doing exceptionally well with JUTC. You never know. The government doing well. People.
They make a profit.
The JUTC made a profit. You never know that, youth. Hold on the people, let me tell you now. JUTC made a profit. Obi, apologize. Hold on. Listen to this.
But
listen, hold on,
JUTC.
Hold on.
For the first time in many years has made a profit. Them the one we talk about. The JUTC.
Yes, tell them.
For the first time in
yes.
many years.
Yes.
Has made a profit.
I don't know why this man talk about the profit where the JUTC make. You never hear that, Obi?
I didn't hear this clip that you just played. I have a little difficulty, but of course I'm fully aware.
Hold on, let me drop it again, man. Hold on. You have to hear it.
Them the one we talk about. The JUTC for the first time in many years has made a profit. Them the one we talk about. The JUTC for the first time in many years has made a profit. Them the one we talk about.
Hold on. You hear the man say?
The JUTC.
Stop. For the first time in many years. That means the JUTC used to make a profit some time ago already too? I never know that.
you know, Colin, let me say this. And I'm saying this with all sincerity. Render Desmond McKenzie ineligible to be sitting in the cabinet of Jamaica.
What?
And it's a fact, because what happened, let me tell you something. When you have somebody who sits in the cabinet who basically said those things, not mindful at all, it seems, that we have youngsters, we have people across Jamaica who understand these things and who are watching these things. The fact of the matter is that the JUTC charged up a loss in the last financial year of about 20, when
billion.
You add it together.
Billion.
And the 20, about, what is it, 27 billion?
But hold on, Obi. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Colonel Charles Jr. in the debate said that they used the savings from JUTC to buy 110 new buses. You never remember that statement?
I remember, but you know what happened? Let me say something. My friend Pernell Jr., actually confessed the and a station that is friendly to the governing Jamaica Labour Party, and hosts that are simply in seems to be favored son of this government. You know, they actually
Obi?
brain was really clogged. I'm paraphrasing now, clogged at the time because he was so tired and so on. And he admitted that he performed very, very poorly. And the only time that he think he had a little shine was when, or a little sheen rather, was when he actually offered the closing comment. But stick up in right there, Colin, because here is another breaking situation. Because you know, Colin, we in this business, we get little things under our door from time to time.
Mhm.
I understand that there is a radio station, a media outfit that right now there is actual problem in the sense that there are heated discussion in the newsroom on a daily basis as to persons taking credit as to who went the hardest and who is most responsible for the Jamaica Labour Party victory. That is what that is happening in our media house in Jamaica. I won't call the name. I won't call the name of the media house, but I tell you, that is the information that is coming to me. That people are saying that, listen, me do more than you. Me do more than you. I was the person who responsible for this or responsible for that. That's what I understand.
Hold on, Obi. Hold on. Lest my listeners forget, I want to play a Pernell chart. Hold on.
And we are using the savings, $1 billion savings from the JUTC, where we have cut theft of diesel and shifted to CNG, to buy 110 new buses at $1.4 billion for our children. The parents will save on, and we are using the savings, $1 billion savings from the JUTC, where we have cut theft of diesel and shifted to CNG, to buy 110 new buses at 1.4.
You hear the man say? To buy
No,
110 new buses at $1.4 billion.
You know, Colin, I'm tempted to say the same thing that Pernell Charles Jr. basically render himself not qualified to be in the cabinet. But what happened, I'm going to give him a pass because guess what? He had the cojones to really come out and said, boy, you know, it was really because of him being tired and his brain was a little bit fog on all of those sort of things.
I never heard the congestion that is happening there on a daily basis and how we're going to fix that with the government now lacking funds because some people don't understand it. The government don't have no money. Obi, look like we lost Conrad, and it looks like it's from our end, Madam Producer. Just saw it drop right off, but it's back. In the meantime, till we get back, Conrad. Just for today, Ivan. You ask her about that letter? Oh, because there is an issue in Port Antonio that I want to bring to the fore. Something that came to my desk after the election. If you know Port Antonio, you know about the craft village. We have a craft village in Port Antonio that was built by Portia Simpson Miller. Yeah, Obi, I think it's my fault.
Hello?
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling back. I think it's my fault why we jump off.
Yeah, Colin. I don't know how much time you have, but I want to get something else in as it relates to the whole city thing and so on. But so
go ahead with the city of Kingston and the gridlock that we are having.
But this point that I'm making now, although what we're saying about the whole business of the clogging of the cities and township across Jamaica, is not only germane to Kingston and Joe alone. It's in Mandeville, it's happening in Moby, it's up in an all everybody go out there, and trying to get a little transport as comfortable way as possible, start creating the grid centers and uncertain the general communities.
Yes.
That is the whole business of flooding. So it begs the question, Colin, as to how are we going about our urban planning
Yes.
of developing? Are we just basically issuing building permit and buildings are just being put up willy-nilly, Colin? When I saw Dennis Meadows on social media something out and said the rain barely drizzled down there in Fall and the entire place flooded out. Right?
But you got 90 minutes of rain in Kingston on Friday and you nearly not have no city left.
There you go. So the point is that there are just so many things needed to be addressed here, Colin. Apart the traffic that we talk about is one. But when you look at the whole business of urban planning and our one of the most dynamic town in Jamaica, that's Professor Carol Archer out of the University of Technology. She weighed in. I read her article yesterday. I basically commented on it. Was it yesterday? One day. And certainly she's asking some very serious question there about the whole business of urban planning. How do we plan our cities? And indeed, this is also impacting the local communities as well.
Yes, definitely. And therefore, we have to step up our management of Jamaica. We have to step up on how we plan for tomorrow. And there's a saying that the leaders that we have now have a real myopic view on life. They're not seeing further than them knows. Because one, they have allowed the JUTC, they have defunded the JUTC. Hence, everybody have to get a ride. And then you have this congestion in the capital city that is also slowing down production. And then I spoke with Al Edwards yesterday about growth in the Jamaican economy and about some of the questions that he asked in the debate and the answers that he's been getting. He asked the Minister of Industry and Commerce a very important question. I think that was on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday, about how we are going to grow the economy. And we can't get the kind of answers that would still some confidence in those of us who are critical thinkers.
Colin, it's very interested, and things get more interested as we go along. Colin, may I ask, are you still the deputy shadow spokesperson on creative culture and the creative industry?
At this point, I would say no, Obi, because the election went on, and I don't think the shadow cabinet has yet been completed in terms of naming who the spokespersons are. I have not gotten a call thus far, so I would say that no, I am no longer the deputy shadow minister at this point. I don't know what they.
I would beg to differ on that. On the contrary, I think you're still the spokesperson. In that the opposition does not carry the same obligation as the government, right? And indeed, even during an election period, the cabinet really remain intact. Therefore, the opposition spokespersons would still be able to speak. And without a renaming so far, then I believe that is as you were. So the situation, I gather, remain intact. However, why I'm asking that, Colin, as you talk about the growth trajectory for Jamaica, right? It is interesting that when the Prime Minister spoke, he could not go to anything that they basically argued in the campaign that will basically drive growth. But where they were argued in the campaign that will basically drive growth. But where they where he went is your flagship program, the Orange Economy. So much that I saw TVJ they're doing a two-part documentary, and they started yesterday talking about the orange economy and say, when will the orange economy start reducing? I think that's how it is titled,
Oh,
right?
I never hear that.
Yeah, man. And what the Prime Minister said, the Prime Minister basically, that's where he's anchoring his ship to say this is where they're going to be going for growth.
But I don't believe him, Obi.
In essence,
I don't believe him. And I'll tell you why I don't believe him. I watched the press conference with the Minister of Industry and Commerce. And when Al Edwards asked him directly about how they are going to grow the economy, he gave an answer of it took about 3 minutes to answer Al. And he told Al that the Prime Minister had mandated him, that's the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Head Bartlett, the Minister of Tourism, and Floyd Green, the Minister of Agriculture, that the three of them must come together and ensure that those areas grow. And when I listened to it, I said to myself, they are not together. Because if you talk about tourism and you talk about growth, you talk about commerce and you talk about growth, you can't leave out the culture and the creative industry. And the minister did not mention it. And that by itself tell me that the Prime Minister just said when think him need to say, because somebody is saying to him that, look here, it is the culture and the creative industry that can move this economy. But the Prime Minister told us in March that him not understand how to get back money out of the culture and the creative industry. So I don't have any hope that they are going to do what needs to be done to really get the culture and the creative industry to push the kind of foreign exchange into the Jamaican economy that is possible.
All right, Colin. Excellent point there. But I'll say this, that in the whole scheme of things, the tourism sector, the tourism ministry, carries a very, very large chunk, in my opinion, as to what we could see out of the orange economy. Remember that under the Portia Simpson Miller-led administration, when no member of Parliament, Damien Crawford, was junior minister or Minister of State in the Ministry of Tourism with Wicker McNeil, his portfolio primarily was to drive that creative arm of the ministry, culture and creative arm of the ministry.
But Obi, Babsy Grange is still Minister of Entertainment.
Absolutely.
Still Minister of Culture.
And again, Colin, maybe even the realignment that we should be seeing in terms of the new the cabinet, because you can't hardly say new, because it's a kind of as you were sort of thing. But if you wanted to have some level of creativity in that cabinet, maybe what you should have is, for example, the entertainment aspect of it should be moved into tourism, and there could be, in my view, there would be a better alignment, a better synergy coming out of that ministry. Because what even the documentary, that part one of the documentary that was shown on TVJ last night, they will have part two, I think, this evening. Even that, basically what they did was to went deep. All they were showing in the orange economy as to where this growth could be coming from, was pillared around the tourism sector in terms of the workers, persons who come into the country to work. And indeed, they featured a lot of tourists who were saying that, they want more.
But
want
Conrad,
more life.
Conrad,
they want.
My mother was here, when was it? Last December. And for her birthday, we went down to Bahia Principe in Runaway Bay. And we spent about 3 or 4 days down there. And when I checked out the entertainment a lot of the people were foreigners coming
Absolutely.
into Jamaica to provide entertainment for the tourists who are coming to Jamaica. Now, let me say this.
The tourists are being entertained by tourists.
By turn up. So, Obi, you are right.
Yeah.
The tourism industry is a critical part of the growth of the culture and the creative industry. But from where I sit, it is a small part. The culture and the creative industry to really generate what it needs to. And I had a discussion with Dr. Herbert Gill just before the election. I was saying to Herbs that within 10 years, if you do the right things, when you get to about 10 years, you should start earning that $30 billion. However, if you get cracking now,
30 billion US dollars.
30 billion US. But if you get cracking now, Obi, in any one term, you should be able to get to about 7 billion US dollars. Now, our import bill is about 7 billion. So if we really turn up the culture and the creative industry, do the right things, we could be exporting that $7 billion that should be able to offset our oil bill, our food bill, our raw material that we import into this country. Because right now we are exporting, our export can't even pay for our food.
Colin, let's basically just drill down here and just call it as it is, as you know, I speak truth to power. The truth is that there's absolutely no rush, right, or no plan to move this economy in a real appreciable way. So you have people who can now basically become the entrepreneur that they want, can earn real good.
Obi?
The marking time and the interest.
We're not just marking time, you know, we're getting slow on that mark time. Because
that's the point. That's the point. One second, Colin. So that's the point. So it's about maintaining the status quo, Colin, because there are some people who want to have as much people in the pool that they can still continue to offer them pittance and to basically treat them like as if they are second and third and fourth class citizens in their own country. That is a part of the situation that we are witnessing now. And until we understand that and move it, because what it means, Colin, it means that while you go and have people to do every facet of work in the country, but if we have more and more opportunity and the thing grows, then what you're going to have now is people will be making big demand as to what they want for salary, because there will be so much different option. Now with the limited option, basically the pool is widens. So a man call a man and basically he wants to treat that man like a boy, same way, because he believe that, listen, that is why, Colin, I was at the car wash yesterday, and I'm telling you as it is. I was at the car wash yesterday, right? He up my car wash man there. I think he's probably watching, and he said to me, he and another person there, and had the discussion, and him said, boy, so the whole of the people them when we see a walk around with the green armband is the most depraved people and things like that who hungry. And the man said, listen, the man them come and ask him to buy them a special and all sort of thing. That is what he was saying. That's what he sees. And I bring that in, Colin, to say that it is probably something by design. So you have those persons, you keep them at the bottom. So when election time come, it's about rum and boom and how much thousand you can give a man. So you frighten a man with a few thousand in election, but for the next 5 years, he's out there starving. Those are some of the things that we're seeing in this country, and we must highlight them and talk about them as much as we can.
I'm not going for more than another 30 minutes, and I want to give some callers a chance. But
indeed.
But I want to say this before I let you go, because I want you to weigh in on this. The promise of $32,000 for minimum wage wage. That tells me one thing, and one thing only, that this government have no intention to grow the Jamaican economy, to ensure that our dollar values more than what it values now. Our spending power, they have no plans to say that today, $16,000 can buy 10 pound of chicken and 10 pound of rice. The aim should be to bring the Jamaican economy to a place where tomorrow the $16,000 can buy 15 pound of chicken and 15 pound of rice. But if you are going to increase to $32,000 for minimum wage, what is that going to do to the economy? What would the value of the Jamaican dollar versus the US dollars be when you get to $32,000 for minimum wage? People are going to starve around here.
That is so, Colin, but I also wanted to factor something in, because here what happened when the discussion, when it was put forward, we are media people, so we understand soundbite, and I can tell you this, that the only thing that stuck in people who are interested in the number was that they were going to be getting $32,000. The actual time frame and all the things like that did not trip in.
No.
And I tell you something, is afterwards. It trips in for a lot of people. First thing to begin with, this $32,000 is over a 5-year period. So it is the first tranche will be 2,500. So that in itself was a deception and a kind of way of woodwinking the people. Because everybody here and believe that, listen, this $32,000 is going to trip in the day or the month after the election.
But Obi, once that $32,000 happen, it means that the Jamaican economy is in dire straits. That means our money will have no value. I try to explain to people in Obi, and I said to people, look at 2016, $6,500 for minimum wage. That $6,500 had more value than what the $16,000 have now. So what is going to happen when minimum wage get to $32,000? The $16,000 you are getting now is going to be able to buy more stuff than what the $32,000 can buy. The $32,000 now have no use.
Colin, as I leave you, I leave you with this. What is the largest denomination of US dollar currency?
$100 bill, brother.
$100.
I try to tell people that.
We are walking around with a whole heap of $5,000 in our wallets.
Because it have no use.
You have it this morning, and you stop at 2 places, you pick up a few things, and after you do that, your wallet is void of those $5,000. The money have absolutely no use, and that is the point that my friend Colin is making, listener, is that this is where we are. We are not thinking about productivity, production, and so we can have
Obi,
an economy.
You talk about the US. What's the largest note the UK have?
Wow. What is
them have a
100
pound or 50 pound? 50 pound. I explain to people, that any country you see a big note, $1,000, $5,000, no good. The economy no good. Countries with strong economy have small notes. I'm going to tell you something. Sunday morning, I went to the gas station in Grenada, and I full the tank. We're about little under half tank, or little about quarter tank. What did they? I will full up the tank, and when I check my credit card, it costs 6,000. I don't want to tell you another lie. I can check it right now. It was 104 Grenadian dollar, but what came off my credit card was about 6,000 change. $6,000 in Jamaica, a full car that can full. It can't full nobody car.
There you go.
You understand what I say? So,
Absolutely.
so when we get to the stage where minimum wage is $32,000, it going to mean that we might end up with a $10,000 bill at the time. You know,
Yes.
you see, what people need to understand is the thing that is called spending power. What the
Yes.
money can buy. If we pay a minimum wage for $32,000, I did in a TikTok video. I said anytime the minimum wage reach $32,000, it also means that your big deal KFC going double.
Absolutely, Colin. You're spot on this evening. You're on fire as usual.
The
I want to ask
gas
you
was
something.
$6,408.05. That's what come
Good.
off.
And since you're talking about, the gas, obviously car drive on road. What is the road condition like over there in Grenada, Colin? Because
Oh God,
I take it
no,
that
Obi,
you would have driven out most of Grenada.
me drive it out, man. But Obi, me put my hand on my head. You know why? In the local government election, I went up to the Mansion Hill division, and we were on a walk with Comrade Cook, Sean Cook. And some people were complaining about some lanes. Some, them little lanes that were going out your yard, you have 10 or 15 house round there. So, and the roads were terrible. And I said to the citizens and Comrade Cook that anytime we get in at the council, we are going to concrete all of them road there. All of them little road there, we are going to use concrete on them. Lo and behold, I come to Grenada, Obi, and all of them little road there, Grenada, concrete and in a good condition. The main road is asphalt in good condition, but when you turn off at the main road and go through them little lane and avenue and alley, concrete.
Which means, Colin, they have bought into the whole business of concrete road that we have been grappling with and talking about for years. And coming up with all sorts of excuses that concrete road will be too expensive and all sorts of things, not understanding that if we put down these roads, if we make the investment, put down those roads, basically at the end of the day, at the back end, it would be a better payoff. It's similar to say, the cost, the upfront cost that you would use for, say, putting solar energy in place.
But in the long term,
cost is more, but when you look at the long term, you'll be so much better off. Colin, there are just so many things for us to look at. And it's really kind of pain your heart, when you really look at what we have here, a gem called Jamaica. And that is why,
God, man. We have so much.
I'm going to say this without any fear of successful contradiction. We saw where PJ Patterson has moved Jamaica into modernization. It was carried further along the trajectory by Portia Sims Miller. When you listen to Mark Jefferson Golden, he sounded like he was going to go the full 100, and certainly he had been deprived of the opportunity because of what took place in the election, the suppression and all sorts of shenanigans that we saw take place. Because if the PNP came out with 28,000 after the kitchen sink and whatever, what the kitchen and the kitchen sink was thrown at them, then certainly, Colin, can you imagine if things were allowed to flow? The 47 seat that you and I talk about, Colin, would be a reality today.
Yes. But Obi, I'm going to run and give some people a chance because we're getting off in another 24 minutes. So we're going to open the phone lines and give some people a chance. Thanks for the time, Obi.
All right, I'll be listening. God bless you.
Blessings,
all the best.
Man. Yeah, man. 804-7072. That's 876-804-7072. Somebody in the chat room is saying that when it reached $32,000, a loaf of bread will cost $5,000. And you might take it for joke, but that ain't no joke. All the big notes in Jamaica, GLP bring them in $2,000, $5,000 hardly sharp. Listen to me. Any economy that have them big note there, not doing well. I can't tell you.
So somebody's asking if you met the minister.
Or if I met the prime minister.
It says the minister.
I did not meet the prime minister. Didn't meet the Prime Minister, but we know two of the ministers down here. Yeah, man. If you met any minister, yes, we spent a lot of time with the Minister of Infrastructure and Implementation, Minister Andy Williams. And of course, Minister Tevin Andrews is our good friend as well. When we got into Grenada, people, we get royal treatment. We were picked up on the tarmac. Yes, we never go in at the custom hall. And we want to thank them for that. At the first time we go anywhere and get official treatment. I mean, when we travel with artists, we have to come through and then we get the big royal treatment outside. But this time we come off of the plane. You know, one of them small plane there. We carry about 30 odd people. Come off of the plane and we were walking inside and somebody just met us and said, yeah, I'm here to meet you. Please come this way. We're going to the VIP lounge, hand over with documents, and we sit down by the time we go bathroom and come back. A car was outside with a suitcase them in the with us. So we want to thank them and big them up. Yes, Sunday we spent a lot of time with the minister. Sunday we had breakfast with Minister Andy Williams Sunday, and we spent a whole heap of time. And then we drive out the island of Grenada from one end to the next. I don't know me love driving, you know. So we have a lot of videos to post, a lot of things to show you. We have left Grenada now, so we can show you that. Somebody was asking where we are today. I did say yesterday we would tell you where we were yesterday because we had left Grenada. But we are still in the same location, so we're not going to advertise that until we leave. So the next time we are on, we'll be able to tell you where we are right now. And we were at the same place yesterday. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We are live on Portland Spice TV. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, like, and share. Go ahead, caller.
Big up yourself, man.
Big up yourself, man. Wow,
Mr.
yes, man.
There. I ask a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, the 7 billion a year. More money for the minister.
$7 billion a year?
Yeah.
What's that $7 billion a year?
You know, saying say to cost the cabinet. To cost the cabinet 7 billion a year, so?
Or 700 million? You mean for
700 billion. Yeah.
Million for pay them?
Yeah, 700 billion a year.
You see, if you have a cabinet that is delivering and producing and assisting the country in earning, then you could understand. But the money, I mean, the discussion I had with Al Edwards yesterday, I wonder why him have so much hope in these people. Because I don't see where the hope is coming from. These people have been there for so many years and have been unable to grow the economy. No, Lenworth is not the former reggae boy football player Andy Williams. No. So go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So we will get about 2 points up a month.
Well, the finance minister get 20 a year. Maybe it's a little under 2 a month, but it's a whole heap. You see, if they were doing the work for it, I don't have a problem with it, you know. But we're not seeing the work. The economy for the last decade, the IMF said it, has grown 0.8%, less than 1%. Al was saying to me yesterday that the dollar is stable. And when I said to him about Al, how much have we been spending to really keep the dollar where it is? Then he admit that, yeah, it's been a lot. We have intervened over 19 times this year alone. We're not producing, brother. We're not producing.
Yeah, I'm producing. So I'm going to do nothing to cut the cabinet. I'm not making it so big.
Well, one of the reasons was, I don't know if you heard the first part of the discussion with Conrad O'Brien and myself. The Prime Minister position is not that secure right now. May I tell you no? No for no, but over the GLP are turmoil. People are jockeying for position because you see the fact that Paul Buchanan filed the election petition against the Prime Minister. any game can play. And there are precedents that has been set in that very seat. The Prime Minister himself was the beneficiary of court ruling to get that seat. So people right now over the GLP side are trying to put themselves in a position to become Prime Minister.
So what you're saying, so that's why I threw him in a little trouble, that's why I increased the cabinet.
Yeah, because here how you do it now, my brother. You want everybody to be your friend. You want everybody to be on your side. And there are two people who, based on the information that I have been getting, now they're on his side now, in terms of anti-Marlene, Your Honor, and Warmington, as we all saw. So, trouble over there. And they are trying to deflect. Bartlett. Go ahead.
I'm here say Bartlett has stepped down too.
When?
You know, you say Bartlett has stepped down too.
When?
Eh?
When him a plan to step down?
Looking at your Instagram.
Well,
are you seeing news?
Oh, well, yes, me I go check that. But you have people like Babsy Grange who we don't expect to do out the term. You have people like Dr. Chang who we don't expect to do out the term. Darrell say he might go after about 2 years he might go. And my information is that if the Prime Minister getting in any trouble with that seat, him going to West Kingston, so Desmond I go to. Tell her!
So Chuck I go to.
Then Chuck, boy, I don't understand what the Jamaican people really do, you know, in the election we just gone. I don't understand. The GLP don't have
so the old man them run for embarrassment.
Well, but they shouldn't run back. Them shouldn't did run back. Them shouldn't did run back. And it showed that the GLP don't have a competent team.
Bangarang, man, bangarang.
Brother.
It's early.
Early in the peace party. Early.
Bangarang early.
But them say Tana sit up while I dance, you know? So we are looking to see what is going to happen around here. We are looking.
Where did they yesterday?
No, I can't tell you because we are at the same place today. We don't move. We're at the same place. No, we're still at the same place. But you can guess, and if you guess right, we will tell you when we're next on live.
Guyana, you're there.
We'll talk a little more.
Think of Guyana, you're there.
Little more, me hear you. Now I'll answer you. We'll talk. 876-804-7072. President of the Jamaican AC Club. President, you have to take up back your whip, you know. You have to take up back your whip.
All right, we have to sit at the table and talk.
Definitely. No,
right.
Somebody said Barbados. Hold on. I was in Barbados last week, Thursday and Friday. Sam, we have left Grenada. Even yesterday we were not in Grenada. So you're wrong. Go ahead, President.
All right. Me have a little thing for me your workout now.
Yeah.
The salary of the members of parliament, we're gonna have to reassure it out with the minimum wage at the present moment. So if the Prime Minister go raise the minimum wage to 32,000, how much more raise for them salary too?
No, but that's 100% increase over 5 years based on what they have promised. Yeah. Now, if you are going to increase minimum wage 100% over 5 years, that means cost of living are increasing, brother.
Yes.
So you're going to have to increase teacher salary.
Film salary have to go up too.
Tell her.
You don't get what I'm saying? You get what I'm just saying?
Most. Everybody's salary have to go up.
And if with it, and he might get 100% increase in a minimum wage. That means more look at that 100% in a film.
Rabashana, tell her.
All right.
Megawatt, hold on, Megawatt say that, St. Vincent, Carol say that, Trinidad, Philip Anthony said that, Phil Anthony said, I believe you are in Antigua. Me not tell you no where me there. Next time we are on, I will tell you all. Continue, Prezi.
Me can recognize that tree there beside you, but you know, put out.
Say no more. Say no more, President.
Well, anyway,
yes.
Hear me out now. I heard you kept saying something which I've been talking about, Uncle Sam country, right?
Mm.
And what I heard you kept saying, if the government of Jamaica, the bigger the money get, the bills are,
yeah, man.
is the higher the wages are.
Yes.
Right? The living cost. And I've been telling people in this country that I'm in that with present president, it won't go on because right now we are heading into a recession. We're about 90% into a recession.
Well, every time I hear that argument, I get scared, because if America...
No, it's serious, man. Even the analysts, going through it and say we're very far deep into a recession. Mm-hmm. So if what I try to tell people that what is gonna happen is that the present president are gonna bring it in a recession. That's America gonna start use $500 bill and a theme picture I go dip on it and that's them a work towards.
Oh, what you said?
That is listen.
Where's the Donald look some legacy?
That is, but see man have coins with him picture on it and him have this card we call green card, gold card, a theme picture upon it and everything.
So
yes, man. So hold on. If you want to come here, come live, I am a millionaire, You pay $5 million.
Yes, and you get your residency.
And you get a gold card residency.
A gold card, yeah. Jump at about it.
And his picture upon it.
Then if you have $5 million US, why you want to go America to live for?
Then the same thing me ask one. So, my brother.
Big up yourself,
but I don't know, man. I don't know what we do.
We made some people made a mistake. I like how Mystical put it. Mystical said the government voting back themselves. They did it on their own.
Amen, sir.
All right, brother.
Amen,
respect.
sir. Later.
876-804-7072. We're getting off at 6:30. 5:30 Jamaica time. Where we are now, it's 6:30. Hey, Colin, I was calling to speak with you. However, you can't answer. If the PNP has any plans on addressing their shortcoming as it relates to information sharing, marketing and perception change of the locals. We see where that is being weaponized by the GLP to the detriment of our party. Big argument that. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good day, Sir Colin.
Blessings, my brother. Welcome.
Well, I just got a chance to tune into you. I don't know what the topic is like, but there is a concern that I want to raise with you, right?
Go ahead, man.
And right, this is with regards to I say a killing over by Clarendon with a little youth, a 22-year-old youth.
Down a cherry tree.
Down a cherry tree lane.
Yes.
Now I tell you, it's saddened my heart.
Yes.
To see what happened. But also when I look at the Jamaicans them who vote in this government here, right? Mm-hmm. This government here, where the opposition was advocating and JFJ was advocating for body-worn cameras, right?
Yeah.
And you hear the minister, the national security minister, downplay the issue. Yes, till
remember I did say the body-worn camera them not make no sense, them all drop off.
Yeah, and what you have Indicom came out and said those men on the operation, at least 22 to 23 of them, never have on no camera. But let me tell you something. I'm sorry to say, but when time one of their family members or close knitted or someone realize that these things happen to them when they come home to them, they will realize, because a lot of people don't see the broader picture of policies to make. Because to me, government is not here for handout. To me, government is not here. Government is here to create policy where they can help, but create policy for you to have a better life.
Yes. Create the environment for people to strive and survive more. Government have that responsibility.
Exactly. So you see, these persons will take a look at 20,000 or 50,000 and figure, say, watch this now. Me have a look at house where me usually put somebody in when the holiday time come to make a money. When Mr. Ed Bartlett come for fee, look at money, them going to realize. Some of them start balling.
Let me tell you something. A lot of Jamaicans are not aware of what government does. Believe it or not. It sounds very simple, but a lot of Jamaicans and even some well-learned people. Because when a man tells you that me not vote because politics not have nothing to do with me, whoever in a power me have to eat and politician not do nothing for me, it tells you that this person is not an intelligent person. This person lacks knowledge and lacks the understanding of how our country is run. And therefore, they sit back and say, me now vote, who want vote can vote, who want do this can do this. A lot of them are sad now. You saw that video that I put out about my relative.
Okay. Yeah, I hear about it, but there's one topic that I don't want to miss. You see, this PNP administration right now we have 28 persons in parliament.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the people them don't make up their mind about the GLP no. Them don't make up their mind about GLP that they're corrupt and all of these things. You see, these
but them don't mind. Them say them corrupt, but it's all right and nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But watch this now. Right now, the PNP is under more scrutiny. I'm going to tell you why. And I see them posture which I don't like. They seem to be docile. They're not aggressive because watch out. The people them is going to judge the PNP more now because when they was 14, the advocacy was like they have 63 in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
14
did have
when
one
the PNP are 40, you can't believe the PNP are 14 and the GLP are 49.
Because remember, the 14 run out the government out of parliament, You remember
that? Exactly. So this 28 right now, the people them is looking at them and a mark. This is the reason why some people are saying they are upset with the PNP because they're too silent. Because because of the precedents that they have set with these 14, they can't come into the parliament now and be docile and let this government. They are expected because, as we said, a lot of persons don't know how the parliamentary system is run. So they believe that the PNP have more power. Yes, they can stop certain bills, they can stop certain things, but at the end of the day, the government is the government. So they need to be more vocal to make it look like what they are, because I'm going to tell you honestly, I'm very impressed with the 14.
Well,
this 28 now going to show me more.
Well, let's see. Time, it's a pregnancy, it's coming, so we will see. I'm going to tell you thanks because I want to take another.
A lot of people don't say what's coming for them now. A lot of people, and this is the thing now, with no vision, the people will perish.
I'm taking another call.
I hear you ask Mr. Al a question yesterday, and I'm going to tell you the truth. My rate, definitely let me know some rate. Because me I say, lick him, Colin, lick him. You're not from the commerce minister. And Mr. Colin start show some things for him, and he must say, yeah, with the GD, with the
Make we talk Saturday morning. Make we give somebody else. Make we give somebody else a chance and we talk Saturday morning. All right. 876-804-7072. You want to say something, Madam Producer? Go ahead.
So I'm saying that the next show you have, you won't have this producer. Because you're not paying the producer no mind at all.
All right.
I've been standing here for maybe over 20 minutes.
I'm not paying the producer.
Exactly. You're taking call. We need to do some commercial.
All right, so if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, it is something that I have to do, and the producer get bad for me. If you have not yet subscribed to Portland Spice TV, please subscribe to the channel, share and like up the channel, because the more you watch the channel, we can do more of them things you feel. And we're going to get to a stage now where we can tell you where we're there. Once we can take care of our security and make certain that when we are where we are safe. Because I remember say, a whole heap of people, you see, want to see out there on social media. No live at Jamaica, you know. And when we realize, our brethren normally call the program, and the man that Jamaica, I call him, and the man I say, Colin, I'm not talking, you know, I'm not Jamaica. Can't talk. So, a lot of you also said to me, say, Colin, watch your head back. So we have to know what we are doing. So that's why when we are at the location, we don't really say it. And yes, no weapon that form against us shall prosper. And any tongue that rise up against us shall go down in our silence. But we still have to be careful. We know we are protected by the Most High God, but we still have to know what we are doing. So, my people, remember now, we want to check out Straight Up too, because Conrad O'Brien launched his channel. Conrad has launched his YouTube channel. So, Straight Up with Conrad O'Brien, and go over there, give him a subscription, and of course, you know him on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think Thursday now, from 9 in the morning till 12. So check out OB. I'm a general, and we have to big him up on each one help one. That's how we do it. You understand what I say? So we want to thank OB for joining us this evening. Thank everybody who tune in. This is not a scheduled program, but we did say that we are going to shut up something this evening because we were expected to be on another island, but we were so far inland on this island yesterday that when we get right now, we are close. We get back close to the airport. So that's why we couldn't move today again, you know. Big up True Blue Bay Resort and the staff over there in Grenada. Yeah, man. Dover Beach Hotel staff in Barbados. Big up on yourself too. One love. We thank you all for the hospitality. Yeah, man. So until we meet again, you know, make sure to click the notification bell, because we might come on tomorrow morning. We're not sure. We might come on. Depends on what time we move, because we have some people who are sort out some things to us. So sometimes we just get a call and say, yeah, man, we have a flight for you. And we're gone. Or yeah, we have a place where we want to take you. But Jamaica is our island home. And we not just say we love Jamaica. We put that in action. And that's why we come here and we talk up the things then. We know that the truth is heavy, some people can't manage it. And when we beat the truth, because some people might support another party, and here we talk some things. And them get uncomfortable. But what we pride ourselves on is speaking the truth and nothing but the truth, so help with God. The truth is consistent. The truth is easy to remember. But you have to also know that you have lies and you have many liars that go out there just to tell the lies. Thanks again for tuning in. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again, peace out, my people. One love. Thank you.